You guys all set? Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and call the Morgan County Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for July 22nd, 2024 to order. We do have a quorum this evening with all members present. At this time, we'll ask Mr. Rumball to lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Rumball. Can everybody hear me okay? If not, move up close. We got empty seats here in the front. All right, copies of our minutes from the last meeting were sent out to us. Were there any changes, corrections, additions, deletions to the minutes? If not, open for a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion, we approve it, the minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
And I'm abstaining because I wasn't here. We also got a copy of the agenda sent out to us in advance of tonight's meeting. Were there any changes to the agenda this evening? Barring none, I'll open for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second it.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The agenda is approved. All right. Everybody who's going to be addressing the board this evening, I'm going to ask Mr. Peden to swear all of those in who would like to speak. So, Mr. Peden, if you would please swear in the participants. All right, thank you, Mr. Peden. So our first item on the agenda this evening is new business. It's public hearing SE-24-05. And folks, I'm going to apologize. I'll probably mispronounce your names, but I've got, is it Cheryl Grissomer? Did I pronounce that right? Okay, all right. So I'm going to ask Cheryl to come up. And this goes for everybody else tonight that's going to be speaking. I'm going to ask you to start off by telling the board your name and address. And then if you're the applicant, please tell us what it is that you're requesting and why you need the board to approve your exception or your variance on that. Then we'll call up anybody else who signed up to speak for that application. If there's anyone signed up in opposition to it, we'll give them an opportunity to speak. Once you're done, the board will ask questions possibly. After that, we'll go through some technical reports that we have for it. Then we'll have discussion. Then we'll call for a vote, and we'll take a vote on your application request. You might need to adjust the microphone when you're up there. If you would, please do so, but we need you to speak directly into the microphone. That way, we get the recording of everything that's said here tonight. And we appreciate that. Any questions from anybody? All right, Cheryl.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Griesmer. I currently reside at 13091 Northwestern Road.
Your address, please?
Yes, 13091 Northwestern
You were telling me that.
I was,
Thank you.
Yes, that's okay. And so I have been a cosmetologist since 2001, and I've operated a single-chair hair salon in my home, and we recently moved. So now I'm requesting the special exception to operate a single-chair hair salon part-time from my home at Northwestern Road.
Anything else you'd like to tell us?
I think that's it. Just asking for the approval.
You're in a subdivision. Do they have any rules on your subdivision for this?
It is listed as a subdivision, but we own 5 acres, so there's no rules regarding that.
Acreage doesn't matter, you're in the subdivision?
It is a subdivision, but I'm not sure about that, actually. Yeah.
So Cheryl, tell us a little bit more about this. What, are you building a new building? What are you doing here?
No, so the salon will actually be located inside the garage of the home. We're just putting up just a couple walls. We have the permit for that and have been working on that. So no outside structure will be changed at all.
And how are you advertising this? Do you have signing outside
No,
for it?
I won't be putting up any signage or anything that will even indicate that there's any kind of at-home business. I just do it all through word of mouth, family, friends, and so yeah, no outside structures will be changed or.
Gentlemen, any other questions for the applicant? No? Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, how about Aaron Grissomer?
Aaron Griesmer, 13091 Northwestern Road. Cheryl's my wife. Just stood up here to answer Bill's question. There is no covenants or restrictions on our property. We just bought it in May, so we haven't been there very long, but just wanted to answer that, clear it up for you guys. That's all I had.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions?
Did you check with any of your neighbors, your new neighbors?
Yes, we sent 8 notices out. I've talked to all of our neighbors personally as well, so they're all great with it. In fact, one of them called us to tell us that she had called in to say that she's in support of it, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions, gentlemen? No? Thank you. All right, I have no one else signed up to speak on behalf of, in opposition to, or as a concerned citizen for this application. Was there anybody else here this evening interested in this application? Didn't get a chance to sign up. I know we had some folks walk in a little bit late. Nope. All right. This is an application for a special exception to operate a single-chair hair salon as a home-based business. And in order for the board to grant this, we have to agree that the applicant meets several findings of facts. So what the applicant has written is they're requesting a special exception use of our property located at 13091 Northwestern Road in Canby for my part-time single-chair at-home beauty salon business. Hours of operation are Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9 to 5, and 1 Saturday a month. I am a sole proprietor, working alone, taking 1 client at a time. I service a maximum of 6 to 8 clients a day, 3 days a week. I'm working closely with the Morgan County and State of Indiana Health Departments to meet the septic system requirements for the business. We currently have a soil sample scientist scheduled in 2 weeks to come and retain samples to move forward. Under the questions asked in the application, under 2.1, the applicant writes for their answer, my salon will be overseen by the State Board of Cosmetology and will follow all health safety standards. It will not affect the general welfare of my clients or neighbors. Under 2.2, the applicant has written, my business is small and inside the current dwelling and will not affect the outside structure of my home. It will not interfere with the enjoyment of other neighboring properties around me. Under 2.3, the applicant has written, there will be no lights, signs, landmarks, or obstructions visible to the view of any neighboring properties. Under 2.4, they have written, adequate utilities will be provided. There's plenty of parking and the road access with properties, long paved driveway, and acreage. Under 2.5, the applicant writes, "With taking one client at a time in the home's long driveway space, traffic will never be affected on the main roadway. The long driveway will accommodate any single cars entering with plenty of property to utilize, with plenty of property parking to utilize." And under 2.6, they have written, "Yes, this is a use listed as a special exception in the R1 zoning district." Technical reports on this application, the Health Department has written that INDOH Commercial Division will need to determine if the existing septic system is adequate for the proposed salon. Do not see anything in this application from the surveyor. Staff makes a note that the petitioner has adequately satisfied the findings of facts for the special exception in an R1 district and therefore recommends their approval. Gentlemen, open for discussion on this application?
I would be for the approve it, provided the State Board of Cosmetology or what the state board is appropriate for this approves it.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Yeah, I would support this as well. There's, none of the neighbors are in objection to this. The fact that she's not going to have any signage outside indicating what it is and only going to be open 3 days a week, I think it's going to be a no impact on the neighborhood or the surrounding property owners. Any other discussion? Nope, open for a motion then.
I'll move that we approve petition SE-24-05 with all findings of fact being found true.
Thank you. Have a motion to approve with no conditions. Do I have a second to that motion? Thank you, Mr. Crone. All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. It is approved. Thank you, folks. You're welcome to stay. You don't have to, but good luck to you. She doesn't cut your hair, does she? To throw that in. All right, moving on. Our next item on the agenda this evening is public hearing D-24-09. Craig Cherry is requesting a development standard variance to reduce the front yard setback for an accessory garage. The property is located at 6805 South State Road 67 North in Clay Township and is zoned zoned I-1. And for this application this evening, I have Mr. Cherry signed up as the applicant. I have no one else signed up to speak on this application. Was there anybody else here on this application other than Mr. Cherry? Or did you want to speak?
Get sworn in.
Okay, hang on a minute here. Are you here to support him? Or are you here to oppose him? Okay, all right. You missed the sign-up time on it, so we're going to hold off on that. We're going to have are you Mr. Cherry? Yes. We're going to have Mr. Cherry come up. Is there anybody else here on this application this evening for the Cherries? No? Okay, Mr. Cherry, come on up.
Hello, my name is Craig Cherry, address 6805 State Road 67 North, and I'm requesting a 15-foot setback due to I'm zoned I-1 industrial, and I have a small lot size and the septic's on the south side of the yard, so I'm asking for a 15-foot setback.
Gentlemen, any questions for the applicant?
Whereabouts is 6800 on North 67?
It's a little bit past the Centerbrook Drive-In.
Okay, I understand now. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Is that where TNT used to be?
Yeah.
TNT Motorsport?
Yeah.
And is this a garage for a business, Mr. Cherry?
Well, this is just a garage for personal.
Not doing any kind of business?
No, no,
Not cutting hair or anything?
no, no. No, I do enough work at Allison Transmission.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, any questions?
I have none. Now I understand why it's industrial.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, we have no one else signed up for this application. Again, this is a request for a development standard, and in order for the board to grant this, we have to agree that the applicant meets certain findings of facts. Under the description of the request, the applicant has written, "I'm requesting a 15-foot setback for my two-car garage because industrial zoning requires a 50-foot setback." Under section 2.1, the applicant, or the question is, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The applicant indicates that's a true statement and writes, "A 15-foot setback will not be harmful for the general welfare of the neighbors." Under 2.2, it makes a statement, "The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner." The applicant indicates that's a true statement and writes, "The brand-new 22 by 20 metal two-car garage will improve home value, and it will not lessen neighbors' homes' value." Under 2.3, the statement is a strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. And the applicant states that's true and has written, "Industrial zoning requires a 50-foot setback, but this is a residential use of the property, not industrial. The septic system in the side yard prevents the garage from being placed there. And the small lot size with an easement across the front doesn't leave much room to work with for setbacks." For the technical reports, the health department states they have no objections. I don't see anything from the surveyor on this application. Staff recommends that we support the petitioner's request to reduce the front yard setback to 15 feet from the property line. Again, I have no one else signed up on behalf of this gentleman. Open for discussion.
I don't have any trouble with it. As a staff recommendation has, the 15-foot setback and the 30-foot of right-of-way that the highway already has, that, I mean, it's going to set far off the road.
Thank you. Other discussion, gentlemen?
Looks to me like it's pretty feasible, because if you look at the picture, just, it would be south of it. They had cars or buildings out there right up against the property line. And he's wanting to come back 15 feet. That seems pretty logical to me.
Other discussion, gentlemen?
No.
Good point, Mr. Crone. If you look at the overhead, or if you've been by this area, about everybody's got a garage out there and unattached, it seems like. So it's not going to be something that stands out in the neighborhood. He's going to be further back than the mini barns that are out there for sale. I don't see that this would be a problem with anything. And again, we have no neighbors in to oppose it. I would support this as well. Any other discussion?
I'll move that we approve petition D-24-09 with all findings of fact being found true.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve with no conditions. Could I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Mr. Rumball seconds. Thank you. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Say aye. Aye. You are approved, Mr. Cherry. Thank you very much. And thanks, folks, for coming in to supporting. All right, next item on the agenda is D-24-10. Robert Burns is requesting a development standard variance to reduce the front yard setback for an accessory garage. The property is located at 6988 East Watson Road in Madison Township and is zoned for ag. For this application this evening, we have Robert and Jennifer Burns signed up in support of, and no one else signed up in opposition or as a concerned citizen. So Robert Burns.
Hello, my name's Bob Burns. I live at 6988 East Watson Road in Mooresville, Madison Township, and I'm looking to build a secondary garage on my property to the front of my property. I'm looking for a 25-foot setback instead of the 35-foot that is currently in force. The reason I need that is I need room to turn the cars around to get into the garage. It comes off of a secondary driveway that I have as well. I have more cars than I have garage space, so I need another garage. And this one will allow me to put in a lift and work on the cars as well as a wood shop, so.
Thank you. Gentlemen, questions?
I have none.
Nothing. Mr. Burns, in your application, there are some drawings of the, I'm assuming the proposed garage. It
Yes.
shows it as being 36 by 40 with the awning over, looks like 1.5 sides. Is that
Yes.
about right
That's,
on that? Are you building this yourself?
no, Graber is building it.
Okay, all right. And in between this building and Watson Road, are there trees?
There were, I just had them cut down.
All right.
But I'm going to replant new ones. The
Okay,
ones that were there were 35 years old, and we were concerned about the longevity of those trees. So
will
I
you be
wanted to-
using your existing driveway to access this garage, or are you
Yes.
adding an additional driveway?
No, it's existing.
Existing drive will service that?
Yep.
Gentlemen, any questions?
I have none.
All right, thank you, Mr. Burns.
Thank you.
Jennifer Burns. Does he have too many cars? Yes. Okay. But that's okay, he worked hard for many years. Fair enough. All right, this is an application for a development standard variance. Again, like the others, in order for the board to approve this, we have to agree that the applicant meets findings of facts. Under the proposed use, the applicant has written the property use is for a residential pole barn garage. It will be a secondary garage to the one built into the home. I own several automobiles and need more garage space to store and protect them. I also intend to use part of the space as a woodworking shop. I'm looking for a 10-foot reduction from the 35-foot setback requirement from the property line. This is to allow for the width of the building desired with adequate space for cars to enter the garage. Under 2.1, it makes the statement, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The applicant indicates that's a true statement, and to support that has written, I see no issue with the structure being injurious to the public or welfare of the community. Most neighbors in the area have similar structures on their property. I am actually one of the few that does not at this time. Adding this structure would increase the property value, which should be of benefit to the area. Under 2.2, the statement is the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The applicant indicates that's a true statement and goes on to write, this structure will not impact the use of the property around it. It will in fact increase the value of the property as it is a substantial investment and improvement. Under 2.3, the statement is a strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. The applicant indicates that's a true statement, and to support this has written, this is the most desirable location for the structure on the property. Other locations considered considered had the following issues. A, on the west side, buried utilities and not enough room to build an adequate-sized garage. B, north, back of house, land is heavily wooded and hilly with significant drop-off, would need to clear, fill, and level land. Location would be too far from the home. C, further east of proposed location, applicant has written, requires building another driveway to reach a structure. Location is too far from home. Location is aesthetically unpleasing as it would be in direct view from our deck. For technical reports on this application, the health department states they have no objections. Do not have anything from the surveyor on this application. Staff writes that they support the petitioner's request to reduce the front yard setback to 25 feet from the property line. So gentlemen, open for discussion?
It sounds as logical as the other ones that we've approved.
Any other discussion, gentlemen? Again, I live just down the road. There's, seems like everybody has an unattached garage, so that's not going to stand out. His neighbors aren't here in opposition to him. Have you talked to your neighbors? Okay. All right. I tell you what, if you don't mind, come up to the microphone for just a second so we can capture what you're saying.
Yes, we've talked to all of our neighbors, and two of them volunteered to come down and support us, but we didn't think it was necessary because we hadn't heard of any objections.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Gentlemen, any other discussion? No? Open for a motion? Was there other discussion? No?
Yes, I move to approve D 24-10, based on the finding of facts.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve with no conditions. Do I have a second to that motion? Mr. Crone seconds. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is approved. Thank you very much. All right, our next item this evening is D-24-11. Jed McQueen is requesting a development standard variance to reduce the side yard setback for an accessory garage. The property is located at 885 West State Road 42 in Monroe Township and is zoned for ag. For this application this evening, I have Jed McQueen signed up as the applicant, and I have no one else signed up in opposition to or as an interested citizen. Mr. McQueen.
Hello, my name's Jed McQueen. I reside at 885 West State Road 42, Mooresville, Indiana, 46158.
Thank you. What do you want to do, Mr. McQueen?
Well, we're wanting to build a garage, a detached garage, in line with our driveway. The variance that's there now is 15 feet. That would put it behind our house, and we would like it in line with the driveway so we can drive into it. It only makes sense if you saw our property that the new garage would be in line with the driveway.
Thank you. Gentlemen, questions? Use the existing driveway, just extend it on back to, I'm guessing, is that the south then?
Yes, 45 feet.
All right. Have you talked to your neighbors about this?
Yes, both the ones on the side and the one across the street.
Okay.
It's not gonna be used for business in any way. It's just for my lawn equipment because we got almost 4 acres and my wife's car.
So you're committing that your wife's going to be allowed to park in this new garage then with her car?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Especially in the winter.
On the record with that now. We don't want her coming back in front of us saying that you won't let her put her car in there, so. All right. Gentlemen, any questions? No? Thank you.
I got one maybe. What size is your garage gonna be?
37 by 40.
30 by 40?
37 by 40.
37 by 40. Am I hearing?
Oh, is it? 24 by 40.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
She's already making it smaller, isn't she? Are you building this yourself, Mr. McQueen?
No, it's gonna be professionally made by contractors.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, again, we have a request for a development standard variance. The applicant has written in his description of the request, like to build a garage closer to the side property line so it will line up with our existing driveway. Under the findings of facts 2.1, the applicant writes that the approval will not be injurious to the general welfare of the public because we are just building a detached garage, which many others have around us. Under 2.2, the applicant writes, the use and value of the neighbor's property values will not be affected because almost everyone around us has them, and building a new one will increase property values. Under 2.3, the applicant writes that the practical difficulties in the use of our property is that we want the entrance of the new garage to line up with the existing driveway while keeping it close to the house. The health department states they have no objections. Staff's recommendation is that they support the petitioner's request to reduce the side yard setback to 7 feet. Gentlemen, open for discussion?
Sounds logical to me. Again, the other ones.
Yeah, looking at the aerial photos, I mean, I don't think it's gonna stand out or anything.
Any other discussion, gentlemen?
No one in opposition.
I would agree. Not an uncommon thing in the area is neighbors aren't here to oppose him. Probably gives him a little bit of screening from the neighbor over to the east of him. The neighbor's house to the east where he's building this is up against their property line. So it's not going to be close to their house. I would support this as well. Any other discussion? Open for a motion.
I'll move that we approve petition D-24-11 with all findings of fact being found true.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve with no conditions. A second to that motion? Second. Thank you, Jerry. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Say aye. Aye. It is approved. Thank you, Mr. McQueen. All right. Last item under new business. Christopher Parson, requesting a development standard variance to reduce the front yard setback for an accessory storage barn. Property is located at 555 Pumpkin Vine Hill Road in Jefferson Township and is zoned for ag. For this, I have Chris Parson signed up as the applicant. No one else signed up in opposition or as an interested party. Mr. Parson.
Hi, Chris Parson, and my address is 555 Pumpkin Vine Hill Road, Bartonsville, Indiana. And I'm requesting a variance setback to have a pre-built storage shed put in. And this is basically the only spot, right at the tree line is just a drop-off all the way on my property. So I got a septic system up closer to my house, so this is basically the only feasible spot to put it.
Have you talked to your neighbors about it?
Just the one across the road, and he's fine with it.
Is it going to be closest to his house?
Yes.
Okay. Are there going to be, is there any screening between the building and the road, trees, anything like that that'll be left?
No.
No? Is there anything there now? Are there
No.
trees or anything like
No.
that there now?
There's a small, like a tree and a few sticker bushes, but
And how big a building are you building?
it's a 12 by 24
And what are you using this for?
for lawn mowers and wood splitter and chainsaw and stuff like that.
Okay, you're not doing a repair business or anything like that out of it? It's purely storage?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to have power to it?
No,
No?
just basically to store my lawn mowers and stuff.
Okay. Gentlemen, other questions?
I'm surprised he's got room for it.
There ain't much room.
Any other questions, gentlemen? No? All right, thank you. All right, have no one else signed up on behalf of this? Again, a request for a development standard variance. Under the questions for the findings of facts, the applicant has written under number 1, I'm using this property to have a pre-built shed installed. It will be used to store lawnmowers, wood splitter, and various tools. My property is all hill, and the backside is a ravine, and nothing can be built on it. It's basically the same way all across my property, so this is the only spot I have to have it installed. Under 2.1, the applicant writes, this will just be a storage shed and will not be used for storing chemicals or anything that's dangerous. Under 2.2, the applicant writes, this is a brand-new pre-built shed that looks good. It will enhance property value and those surrounding it. Under 2.3, the applicant writes, there's a steep ravine on the back side of my property. It's like it's all the way across in the back, and nothing can be built in the ravine as it is way too steep. Health Department states they have no objections. Staff's recommendation is that they support this to reduce the front yard setback to 20 feet from the property line. The gentleman open for discussion?
Like I said, I'm surprised he found that much space, knowing this area. So I very much approve his request.
Thank you. Gentlemen, any other discussion or comments? Yeah, I support this as well. Open for motion.
Make a motion, we approve it.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Say aye. Aye. It is approved. Thank you very much. All right, our next item on the agenda is staff reports. Mr. Peden, do we have a BZA attorney's report this evening? Thank you. Ms. Parker, do we have a plan director's report this evening?
Thank you for your patience through the development standards meeting we had tonight. We do have at least one petition filed for next month and a couple that are in the pipeline, so right now we will have them.
All right. Gentlemen, any other business to be conducted this evening?
I move we adjourn.
Second to that. Mr. Crone seconds. All in favor, please raise your right hand, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.